Hello and welcome to Nightmares of Future Past. I'm your host, lluksblackheart. Joining us on today's episode is Darktide, Shiro, All Strike, and Lynx. As a brief recap of what happened last episode, for those who missed it, the party was finishing their fight on attempting to defeat what they assume are vampires and their thralls on top of a hotel when the party unfortunately had to retreat due to too many injuries. And they unfortunately had to leave one party member behind. So here we are with these current three heroes, All Strike, Darktide, and Shiro, as they make their prepping decisions on how exactly they're going to try to locate where the supposed bad guy, where the villains are, so that way they can make an attempt to save their comrade. Which leads us to the three amigos, who are currently at their command room, trying to figure out what they're going to do.
Doesn't Lynx have like a tracking device on her?
Nope. The party doesn't have any sort of tracking devices.
I thought the communicators were trackable.
To a certain degree, they can possibly be used to narrow down the general location. It's also one of the things that if All Strike gets within a certain proximity, he could possibly use his acute senses on his suit to attempt to narrow down the bad guys.
There's something up with your mic.
Yeah.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, but your mic is going weird.
I'm not sure why, but it's picking up some sort of ambient noise. Nope, it's still picking up ambient noise. I
Yep.
have no idea why my mic is being mikey. You think you fix something, and then it turns out you don't.
It sounds like it's playing that ping pong game that I had when we were kids. When I
What?
was a kid. Oh yeah. That's what I would go every time the ball was hit.
Oh, that one.
Yeah.
Okay, the ambient noise looks like it dropped down.
Yay.
Yay.
I believe we should do a frontal assault through the front door, since we have no idea where Lynx actually is right now. She could still be at the place, the lair that we were attacking.
At this moment,
Yeah, she could be.
moment, you guys can tell that the elevator is in use.
Huh? All right.
Implying that there is someone using it to come down into the base.
Yeah, I'm pulling out grass cutter.
I'll pull it out.
Good.
Does the headquarters have the ability to use satellite surveillance or CCT?
No, it doesn't have access to CTV because there currently is no CTV to connect to. There's no satellites that the base is hooked up to because it doesn't have that capability.
Okay.
Mainly because Captain Shiro doesn't have access to satellites.
But does he have? Do we have anybody that can do the CCTV type thing that they put the cameras all over the city?
That's not in
If they
Gotham.
were working, I would say yes, but they're not working. The city's in
Okay.
a giant mess. But it doesn't really help the current fact that it's the party's the base elevator that's coming down. And after a moment, the doors open, and standing immediately right in the front is Lynx, standing there with a big old smile.
Hi guys. I'm back.
I will put my
You're
sword
back.
away. You're back. How did you get back?
I escaped. Yeah.
How did you escape?
How?
What
I
what happened to you after we left? Because
I fought my way out.
I thought you were in conflict. I guess not.
Captain Sewer, do we have the equipment that allows that can scan individuals?
We don't have a complete med bay, if that's what you're talking about. And at this moment, hey Lynx, because
Yeah.
they obviously dropped their guard, which is perfect. Which
Hmm.
one
never
do you
dropped my guard.
blast?
I never dropped my guard. Never. I always had
Well, I
my
said
pistol
they.
at the ready.
But what one do you just blast?
Mm,
Yes, choices. Aren't they fun?
um,
Roll a D3. D4. That'll help.
mm, hmm.
Could help.
Um, gonna try to um, try to
Quick, somebody make
There is no
garlic
wrong
pizza
answer
fry.
here, Lynx.
I know.
There is no wrong answer. There is no right answer. There's just who you
Plastic.
who
Just-
you blast.
I know. I'm just trying to remember what my modes are.
You
Dazzle
have damage,
and
dazzle,
incapacitate.
and your incapacitation one.
Okay.
So you could either attempt to take one out flat out by blasting them. With the upside of you having the you and All Might are tied for the most damaging damage attack.
I'll
Or
strike.
You're gonna. Do you want to blast him?
You said All Might again.
Sorry. I swear I'm not on drugs.
You are.
Is that gonna dark with
Uh,
Dazzle. All strike.
well, do you want to do your normal blast, attempt to dazzle him, or your
I said
attempt to...
dazzle.
Oh, dazzle him?
Yeah, she did say dazzle.
Well, sorry, I didn't quite hear it. Because of that. All strike, you have a +8 to your dodge, while Lynx has a almighty +8 to her hit.
So it's a D20 roll off.
So pretty much. But she added her 8, so go ahead and add yours to it. You managed to dodge, which now everyone needs to go into initiative, because as you guys started to do your talking, she pretty much, keeping her grin, blasted at him. And then also at this moment, 10 people come from the sides of the elevators and enter in the room, fully loaded with their assault rifles in hand, implying that she didn't fight her way out, but yet she led them right to the party's secret base.
Yep.
So remember, Lynx, you have a +2. All
Right.
strike has a 1. Shiro has
That's
a
a D.
9. Yes, it's a D20.
That's a D10.
D20.
What?
A 2
What's my
0
initiative?
+1.
Plus
What's
6,
my
yes?
initiative?
Yes, you have a 6 darktide. Like I said,
You said I have what?
you have a +1 darktide. Well, darktide.
No, I don't.
Darktide has a 6. All strike has a 1. Lynx has a 2. Shiro has a 9. So, I also have to roll for the bad guys. Dun 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 dun. What is their bonus again? My knee's killing me. Okay.
But yeah, I can suggest a good bone surgeon.
I pulled a funny. Okie dokie. Looking for the highest. We got Dark at a 20. Shiro at a 14. Bad guys. Gotta love thinking you have something prepped and then not being able to find it. So somewhat lucky for you guys, Lynx is going last. But going first is Dark. You haven't gone this high up in initiative for multiple episodes.
I am once again pulling grass cutter and going after the one of the 10 that followed Lynx. The closest number one of the 10. Whomever
Pick
that
1
might
through
be.
10.
I'll go after 10.
Okay, I need to do. They have a parry of plus 10.
Oh, well.
It's gonna be a repeat of last episode. I can feel it already.
Yeah. Okay. At our base.
Shiro, you have 11 targets. Because Lynx is obviously no longer a good guy.
I
He
shoot
has
all
joined the
11.
dark side.
Shooting all 11.
Who's going to be the... Actually, I want to double check something real quick. Because of you... Does it's technically... Boom... The first 9 are at plus 15. The other 2 are at a 14 and a 13. But you have to decide, are you starting with Lynx? Or are you going to
Starting with Lynx.
Okay, so you're getting a full 15 first Lynx. This is the most important one. So you roll with your 15. And Lynx rolls with her 8.
Crit.
This is gonna hurt. No, this is actually funny because your base damage is technically just high enough to bypass her imperviousness because it's a base of 5. But you also have to remember that the crit, which makes it adds plus 5 to it, so that's a DC 25. So Lynx has to roll a toughness of plus 12 versus a 25.
Oh.
This is the downside. She's literally one of the tankiest party members. And a 29 means she shrugs off the bullets. Like I said, can you? The next 8 are at a full plus 15. So can you roll me 8's d20?
Yeah.
We'll manually do things because they have a dodge of only 9. So if they get you technically get a 6 added to whatever you got, which I'm looking at oh dear God, this is gonna bite.
Did my crit improve?
Your crits are if the die lands at a 10 or higher, it's considered a crit. Which means crit. If they hit. Let's see. Hit. All of yours are modified by a 6. So you only missed one of them out of these 8 ones because the 9 versus an 8 means he boom. But it's also somewhat bad because the rest all hit with 4 of them being 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them being crits, which means the DC goes up by 5. So the first 4 are these are the ones that got hit. Hit. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 of them are normal rolls, but they're also against crits. So even though they have a plus 10, they have to get a 25 or higher. And these are just the normal 4, not the 3 that are critical failures. So I'm adding 10 to all of these, and it's a 25 they have to beat. So numbers 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, let's see. Does it mean 10? It's 12, so that's just 1 damage. 17 damaged and dazed. Damaged. A 14 versus a 25 is an 11, so that's damaged and staggered. Oh, I just accidentally added stuff to the wrong people. So all 4 of them took damage. Number 3 is dazed, so he's limited to 1 action. Number 6 is denied his turn. But number 1 not only has a -5 to his attack to this because he got a nat 1. It's first a critical hit, so that's he has to beat a 25 with a +5. He failed by 11 whole points. That is good because number 1 took point damage and is staggered. Number 2 needs to pass that. He gets to have his full +10, but it's first a normal DC 20 because that's not a crit, and he doesn't care.
Jeez.
The very last guy, number 10, is rolling with only +5 of his modifier because he rolled. So let's see if he can. Oh dear, mother of God! So that's a 1. He failed by 19. Which means he has a capital I, which stands for incapacitated. So in round 1, you damaged 5 got damaged. 2 of them are staggered. 1's dazed. 1 did not. Oh, several of them did not care because you either missed or they passed, and 1 just He went, "I'm Jeff."
Right, there's still 2 more I need to shoot.
Yes, it's 2 more. It's
Or 3.
No, it's 2.
No. You're right. 2. It's 2.
No, yeah, 2 more. And this one is at a +14, the other one is at a +13. So we're going to do 1 at a time. With their... God, they're easier to shoot than they are to smack.
Alright, what's my minus?
This one is you have a total of a 14 to hit. And of course, this one you have a +13. That hit, and it was a crit. So he has to beat a 25. I would like to say that this fight's going relatively in the party's favor still, because even though it's their turn now, right off the bat, one incapacitated, 5 damage, and 2 of them are denied their ability to return fire. So right there, the party is in the party's favor for the moment. Bad guy number 1 cannot retaliate because he's been staggered. So I get to remove that now. Guy number 2 is going to die number 2 is going to shoot at you, almighty Shiro. You do have a plus 14 to your dodge. First, they're 14. So just roll a d20. It's a roll off to see who hits who. And he beat you by 8 points, which means he gets additional 2 points to his damage ratio. So you must make a toughness check against a DC 22 with your plus 6.
Oh my god.
Wow.
Oh, this is gonna repeat boom. Okay, so that one makes it a 2.
Not fair.
No, it's not fair. A 22 minus 2 is
As I go
20,
down.
which
Yep.
is 4 degrees of failure, which means you take 1 point
Incapacitated?
damage and the capital I, which, it's going to be somewhat funny, because, every 2 turns something's going to happen to you.
Oh. Oh.
Okay, guy
Oh.
number... you've never actually had the chance of seeing what happens when Shiro goes down. He has the fastest recovery rate out of, well, everyone.
Yep.
Guy number 3, who's limited to 1 action, which I can take around that now, is going to open fire on All Strike. So All Strike does have a plus 8 first this plus 14. Why? I think the dice bot is becoming highly unlikable. That is
Except for me. Except I'm
that's
liking the dice
21
because
over, which means you have to make a DC 25 toughness check with your plus 12.
Okay, hold on. Ah! Sorry. You said, what is it?
You have a plus 12.
Okay, plus 12. That's what I thought you said.
wow. Still not enough.
No, it's a DC 25.
Mm,
So a 30 beats a 25.
35.
So he shrugs it off.
No.
Guy number 4 is going to shoot at All Strike. So roll with your plus 8. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Because that one not only affects your dodge by turning it into a 4, which means he beat you by 3 degrees of success, but it also means you not only have to beat a DC 25, but you don't get to use all 12 of your toughness. You only get to use 7 of your toughness.
Ooh.
So you need to roll with a plus 7. A 15 versus 25 is a 10-point difference. You take a point of damage, and you are dazed, which means you are limited to a single action on your turn. If the bad guys decide to do it. Dark, can you please roll me your 10 dodge, please?
Oh.
Well, I can tell you
Wow.
exactly what that
Wow.
difference is, because that's how close it is. It's a 13-point difference, which
Why?
means you have to roll your 10 versus a 25, because why not?
Dice bot. Why?
Because it always hates him. Uh-huh.
That's a failed by 8 points, which means you are damaged and dazed.
Yep.
Which means you're not losing your next turn. Boom.
But I'm not getting it either.
Well, you can hit because you're still in melee. So luckily you don't
Oh.
have to move and swing because you're already in melee. Guy number 6 lost his
Am
turn,
I
so
am I still am I still knocked out?
yeah, this is still round 1.
Oh.
Like, you took the number of bad guys from 11 to 10 in one round. And then they returned the favor by taking you out. Guy number 7 is going to shoot at All Strike. So All Strike, please roll with your +8. Come on, come on, come on. Yes! You were missed. Guy number 8 can't do anything because he's capital I'd. Guy number 9 is going to shoot at Dark, so please roll with your +10.
If it turns out to just be me facing dark, facing only dark.
Well, that's a 13-point difference, which means you have to roll your because you already have 1 point of damage on you. You get a +9 to this toughness check. You got real lucky because you have to remember that
Tie goes
this game,
to defender.
Yeah, ties go to defender when it comes to this because you only take damage if it's if the damage or the difference is 1 or more. So despite being shot by that guy, you take no damage. But do you know how there's that one guy you're right next to?
Number 10, who's incapacitated?
No, that was number 8 that was incapacitated.
Number 10 was incapacitated.
No, the numbers were slightly skewed. Number 8 was incapacitated. There's number 9 and number 10
Two of them
were
were
the ones
two of them were dazed or something.
Yeah, several were dazed, and they
Anyway,
were
yeah,
missing.
number
Several
10.
were staggered. Number 9 and number 10 were completely missed by him because his 14 and 13 did not beat them because he got rolled. Number 10 is not going to shoot you.
Oh.
He's whipping out a dagger and stabbing at you.
So I get a +9 or 10?
Well, you still get a +10 because he hasn't hit you yet.
Oh.
You've been stabbed.
Yeah.
You've been hit
Don't
only
so.
once. So you get a overwhelming 9 to this roll versus a 21. You got lucky.
Yeah.
Barely.
Slap you, and you're like, leaving it to All Strike's turn. You are dazed, so you cannot move and swing up, but you can point your focus beam and blast at one.
I'm going to fire at Lynx.
Well, you have a +8 to hit, and she has
You're
a
enjoying
+8
this
to
way too much,
dodge.
aren't you, Lynx?
So it's literally a roll-off. or you need to add +8 because she added +8.
Oh.
You managed to hit her, and because you have the you and her are tied for heavy-hitted blows right now. She has to roll her impressive 12 versus a 27.
So how much do I need to roll?
No, wait, never mind.
You already hit. You don't need
Never
to roll.
mind,
It's
never mind.
Lynx that needs to roll. Okay, Lynx with the +12 got 24. 24 versus 27 means she takes 1 point of damage. Because that was 1 degree of failure. So you're finally like, ah. Which,
Did you hit me? Are you sure you hit me? I don't think you hit me.
oh, she did. Which, it is now her turn.
Okay.
Now, Lynx,
I'm
are you
going
going
back
to
at all
return
strike.
your what?
Yes, return fire, and all
With
strike.
blast him?
Still all strike. Yes.
Well, both you roll
'Cause he's the
d20s
best,
because
and-
your modifiers are exactly the same. So it's literally a roll off to see who gets
Yeah.
higher.
Oh,
He manages
no.
to dodge. So he blasts
No.
you, you go to blast him, and he dodges it.
No.
It goes back to the top. Dark, you are dazed, so you cannot move and shoot. But
I can attack number 10,
you
right?
You are adjacent to several of them, so you can swing at one.
Good. I am swinging at number 10. Swiss grass cutter.
He has a whopping +9 to versus your 10. Roll high. Oh, darktide got a 24 versus a 20. Your blade strikes true. He has to make a 25.
Nope.
Oh, that hurts him a lot. That's a 13-point miss, which means he takes 1 point of damage and is staggered. He officially lost his turn.
What about being infected?
Are you talking about the fortitude effect?
Yeah. Yes, I am.
There's a reason I'm not rolling that.
Okay, never mind.
But you do
I'm
have
good.
to remember, on his next turn, while you hit or misses, he has to make roll first the secondary effect.
Right. Okay.
So while you
I was
hit
just
him
wondering.
or not, he has to make a damage check on your next turn automatically.
Right, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm counting that for Shiro. So now we get to move to the bad guys. Which this is like the only bad part about being incapacitated. You're out for X amount of time. Bad guy number... because there's 9 bad guys... 9. 1 incapacitated, 1 staggered. There's 8 bad guys. And there is currently 2 standing good guys. The first 4 are going to fire at All Strike. So, All Strike, can you please roll me 4 die 20, please? You do have a...
40, what?
4 of them are shooting. I'm just doing mass rolls to help speed things up. That and the bad guys do have a 6-point difference on their favor.
Okay, for some reason it didn't work this time. Oh, look.
Is that still there? Just
Oh, let's see what it is.
not rushing it. Take your time to make sure it's properly. And
It. Oh, didn't I do it right?
I'm not seeing it appear. The
I'm
last
putting
roll it's
in.
showing for me is my roll. Was my damage roll. Well, my damage roll. My toughness
Same.
roll. So it hasn't
Same.
registered for you yet.
Okay.
Coco.
Still not doing it. I don't know what's different about what I did.
Well, you're putting apostrophe R space 4D20.
Yeah.
And when you hit enter, it doesn't do anything.
Nope.
Let's see if it'll work.
Apostrophe. It's supposed to be an exclamation mark.
Sorry, exclamation point.
Well, that's what it is.
My brain's not working. Okay,
It's been working.
It just registered my 4 attacks.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't understand what's going on with this because it worked before.
Yeah, I don't know why it
Hold on.
wouldn't be working for you. It should be.
Yes, I have the apostrophe R space
Exclamation mark.
well, exclamation
R
mark.
space.
One of the things goes.
Exclamation point R space D whatever.
That's what I've got.
Yeah.
Weird.
I don't know why it's not registering that you're doing the roll.
Yeah, it's not taking anything. It's not even
Restart.
going to the app. It's not going to the app.
That's weird.
Maybe.
Dark, try it on your end.
What am I rolling?
Just to see if it would work. 4D20.
Oh.
Okay, it's showing you typing.
Honestly, it wasn't even showing all strike typing. It wasn't showing all strike typing at all.
Maybe restart Discord all strike.
That's what I was thinking.
You might have to do that, all strike.
Okay, I'll go ahead and do that and restart it.
We'll pause for a moment.
Program for some
we're
reason.
Back. We fixed the problem. Thank you for sticking with us, audience. Now we can actually properly resolve the dodges. It is in the bad guys' favor because a 8 versus a 14 puts it 6 in their favor. But even with a 6, the 17 all strike got versus the 2, which becomes an 8, means he's dodged one of the blasts, but he got hit 3 times. One of them was a 20. Which is a critical, which isn't necessarily good for him. It also A 15-point difference means it's getting an additional +5 for the multi-attack. So your first one is first a DC 30, which is a hard hit. So you right now have a +11 first this blow.
Why did it go?
Oh, it's right there. I see.
Okay.
On 18, 13, 30, it's a 12-point difference, which does mean you take 1 point of damage and are staggered. The second blow that hit you, because that becomes a 12 versus a 3, it's 9. You only have to roll first a DC 22, so you get a +10, because you currently have 2 points of damage on you. That's 6 degrees of failure. It takes the better of the penalties, so you don't become dazed because you're already staggered. The third hit and final hit is a difference between 13, so that's another 25, and because you've taken 3 points of damage, you're rolling with a 9. If it was a 13-point difference, it's 25. 13 versus 25 is 12-point difference, which is another staggered, but you can't double up on staggers. Unfortunately, you've taken plenty of damage and do not get to go this turn because you've been officially staggered. Something that hasn't happened. Well, I mean, technically it happened last game session. What am I talking about? Now, the last 4 are shooting at dark.
Oh, good.
So there's the 4 that... Oh, bloody heck. Now, there is a 4-point difference, so they get a 4-point lead on this. So just roll me 4 die 20, please.
No pluses?
Just 4 die 20. Because remember, you're 10 versus their 14s means they get a 4-point lead. So I'm going to plug in 4 on each one of those die rolls to see if they can counteract anything. Because their 9 becomes a 13, their 13 becomes a 17, their 3 becomes a 7, and their nat 20 becomes a 29, because that's a nat 20. So the 5 versus a 13 is an 8-point difference. So you're rolling your toughness, which is a +9 at the moment, versus a 22. I may capture the party this time. That's a 7-point difference. So you just take 1 more point of damage from that attack, but you cannot be dazed again. The second attack...
+8?
Yeah, you only get a +8 versus this. And doing math, because boom, it's another 22, so that's a 9-point difference. The last attack, because it's a DC 30 crack.
Okay. How do you rig the roll?
I didn't rig this at all. It now is going to Lynx because Allstrike got staggered, so he is skipped. So Lynx, there's only one valid target at the moment, and it's Allstrike.
Yes.
So you can roll with your +8 versus his +8. This is where the party most likely gets captured. Let's see if All Might can dodge. Come
All
on.
strike. You said All Might again.
Oh, sorry. My brain keeps trying to go there. Okay, okay. Ooh, All Strike dodges. Okay, this is round 1 of
Am I back up yet?
Somehow I
I thought
knew
it
All
was round
Strike
2.
would be the hardest.
This is officially round 3. So this is the second turn you've had stuff on you. You are close to being up.
Somehow I knew All Strike would be the hardest.
I should.
Well, remember, your fast healing is every other turn, not every single. Well, let me double check that. Yeah, it's every other turn, not every single turn.
Okay. I thought you said I'd get up after 2 rounds.
No, I said it triggers after. The ability triggers after every 2 rounds, and it has to go. Has to recover the damage before it can cover the condition, which means in 2 more rounds you're getting back up. Which is a lot sooner than literally everyone else. Because Dark has to wait without medical intervention. He has 39 more rounds before he can get up.
I'm gonna invest my points next time we level up. I'm gonna invest it in my
I
regenerative.
figured that you're going to during season 3 update, you would splurge on there, because you have to remember what you did on last maintenance was, instead of doubling up and just increasing the rank, you added persistent and restorative, which means whenever it triggers, you get to remove a bundle of different effects, and it works against it works against incurable damage. So nothing anyone does to you is considered permanent unless it removes your healing factor. But it won't change the fact that next maintenance you're going to most likely take all of not most of your points to make your healing factor broken. But that did trigger this turn, so one thing is removed. In 2 more turns, other things would happen. Which then means it goes immediately to the bad guys. There's 9 bad guys who can actually do their turn this turn. So, lucky them, unlucky All Strike, who needs to roll 9d20, please.
How many? Just one?
Yeah, let's just do one at a time.
Okay.
Add no modifiers to it. It's a because it is 6 points in their favor. Does your 8 versus their 14 means they have a plus 6. So technically speaking, to speed things up, just hit the d20 and then I'll roll first. Okay.
That's the first one.
Okay. I'm just gonna start marking them off before I have you start. We'll do this one at a time then, so we're not going back and forth. So you get a toughness of +8 first this attack. Oh God!
This rollator doesn't like me.
Well, currently it's not liking the party at all. Because last week it caused you guys to lose the fight, and someone get captured too. Looks like I'm capturing the entire party, and we may be running a villain campaign now.
Interesting.
But don't worry, I rolled. I gotta do math. A 7 difference makes it a 22. You rolled a 1 on that, so it turns your 9 into a 5. Oh, no, sorry, into a 4. This is minus 5. 4. 4 first 22 is an 18-point difference, which not only gets you a point of damage, but it also 18 points. That's 4 degrees of failure, which is incapacitated.
Oh, wow.
Which does make things somewhat more cinematic at this moment, because before Shiro's able to wake up, because you're the first one to wake up, Shiro, because you have a faster healing rate, because you only have to wait 2 more turns before you wake up, while Dark still has almost 4 minutes, and All Strike has 6 minutes.
Right.
But you wake up, you can find that your revolver has been removed from you. Same with all your gadgets and tools, and you are currently bound. You can see that Darktide is also bound, and both of his blades have been separated from him. And you can see that Blunt, All Strike, I can't change that, has been removed from his suit, and you guys are all bound. And you can see that the elevator is coming down, implying that there is going to be someone new joining the party. You, if you so wish, can... Where is it?
Is my legs bound too?
Yes, you're bound at the knees and at the feet, and your arms aren't just bound like that, but they're bound at the wrist and locking your elbows, which makes you very uncomfortable. Which, if you want to attempt an escape artist check, which I have to double check what skill uses that, because that's how long it's been since I've had to since someone's had the chance of doing an escape artist check for me on this game, that I can't remember what skill uses it. I want to say it's one skill, but but you have 2 choices. You can attempt to escape your bindings and then do a solo fight against a bundle of enemies, which it does include Lynx. Link. I was right. Well, like I said, you can attempt to fight these bad guys, which there is 9 of them. And Lynx. Or you can see who's coming down, because you're going to be up for a while before the other guys wake up. What is it you attempt to do?
I'm going to try to escape my bindings.
You get a plus 11 versus these bindings. You lucky, lucky man. You extremely lucky man. You're able to escape the bindings, which does go noticed by all of the bad guys. Which you can notice that the one that sees you do this looks at you, and then instantaneously all of them, including Lynx, looks at you.
I just sit. I just like it's uncomfortable. I don't want to be tied up. I'm not gonna you. You got the better.
What
am I gonna do?
Lynx, you hear
Try to
in your
chop my way out.
Let the poor man sit there. It won't make a lick of difference. And after a moment, the elevator lands, opens, and 5 people do exit. One looks a wee bit more intimidating than the rest, than the other 4, almost like he's in charge. And he does walk over to you, looks you up and down, and does say, "What is one of your kind doing working with these so-called heroes, little spider?"
I don't know how I ended up like this.
Well, I'm not opposed to having your kind work for me, because having any form of lichen is any form of lycanthrope can be a boon to what I plan to do. So I will give you 2 options, little spider. Option 1: I pluck your fangs out and use them to kill your friends. Or you submit to me and do as you're told.
I ain't exactly a hero. So what's in it for me? Besides
you get to live.
Dying by fair enough. There's none.
Yeah. Currently, living or not living, that is your choice. And as you can see, I struck in your home, meaning I can get you wherever I want. And he says, "Now stand up."
I stand up.
And he points to the wall. "Go stand by the wall. We're going to wait for the so-called heroes to wake up, because apparently they're not good enough to fight my little friends." Because my Centurions are apparently better than them. Even though I lost one.
Yeah, he should thank the dice bot profusely.
You're not up yet, hush.
I know this, but he should thank the dice bot profusely.
Yeah, but it's funny. The one he lost was to Shiro, not you two.
I know. Because, dice bot.
Dice bot. But after some time, everyone else wakes up. Not necessarily feeling 100%, but you guys wake up. Both of you find yourselves bound without any of your tools. You can see that there is what you both can recognize as 4 people that are dressed similarly to that one vampire you fought there, and another individual that's similar dress, but enough to tell that he is different, and he also looks like it's in charge. You can see that there's still 9 of the bad guys that charged in here still there. You can also see over to the left by the wall is both Lynx and Shiro. Shiro standing there unbound.
Oh.
Like he belongs with them. And the entity before you, looking down at you guys, goes, "I will give both of you a choice. The choice is drink from this gauntlet, or Or drowned when I destroy this place.
Hmm.
Those are your options. Pick now, or I will pick for you.
I'll try the gauntlet.
Dark. Make a decision, Dark.
Not as
I
Tick
did
tock.
not. I did not travel through time and space to bow before evil.
Like, well, it looks like you're just kind of drowned because of evil. With several people laugh and giggle. But as they somewhat laugh and giggle, the place shakes. And it all kind of look around a bit. And then you guys can hear the sounds of flowing water. The smell of the salt fills your guys' senses. And then as all of the, what you guys be vampires, looks at the elevator, salt water comes rushing in. And you guys can hear over your comms, it's time to clean the sewer.
I was wondering if Captain Sewer was part of our captured crew.
He wasn't part of the captured crew.
No, he ran like a chicken with his head cut off.
Well,
What about my
you have to
helmet?
remember that, where is it? Captain Sewer, like most of the NPCs, aren't going to be up in front, doing things, because I'm not going to let NPCs, actively, constantly, consistently take away from what you guys can and cannot do, because that's messed up.
Okay, anyway.
But
Time to go to the sewer.
What about my hornet?
It's up at the surface.
Okay.
Now I just gotta double check one thing to make sure. Okay, boom. The place starts flooding. And as it starts flooding, some of the water seems to be moving weirdly around both Dark and dun 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 strike. Almost like there's extra umph to it, and you guys can both kind of feel you've been grabbed.
Uh-huh.
Almost like the water is grabbing you.
Okay.
So you guys pretty much being carted in one place, as more water at a rapid pace is kind of just knocking everyone down. The vampires do somewhat start to levitate up to fly, so that we're not immediately in the water yet. Which Lynx can fly if she really wants at the moment.
Yes.
Yeah. As you are flying, for a moment you see something weird in the air. You need to make me a dodge check, please.
Uh-oh.
But all of us, or just
Nope,
one?
just
Lynx.
her. Because something in the air is attempting to grab her.
What's the plus?
You have a +8, which the dice bot does not favor this. Okay, you are entitled to a strength check. You have a +0. You absolutely positively fail, as it seems like the air itself has grabbed you and flew off with you.
Okay.
At this time, moving through the water with the grace of Aquaman, Captain Sewer does appear up out of nowhere to grab Shiro, so that way he can get Shiro to safety.
My hero.
Yeah, pretty much. So the party is brought to somewhere safe, to a room that's not flooding, except for some of the water that's in it, because the water that seemed to grab both of Allstrike and Darktide kind of just flushes in the room. Boom. You see what looks like air flowing around Lynx come in the room, still binding her, and then popping up, and then so much shoving him in the door, coming in and shutting the door behind you guys, is Captain Sewer, who's soaking wet, going, "Ha! I got to save the day. See, Dad, I'm not useless."
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
He looks at the puddle of water and goes, "Make sure they get out, and make sure you flush them good." As the water moves out, seeps through the door, underneath the door before it hits a button sealing the door from the water, and he looks at Lynx and goes, "You're gonna stay there till I decide to have you released." You're also finding it hard to talk, because when you go to say anything, your voice is being muffled, almost like there's a hand covering your face. Captain Sewer goes, "Let's get these guys untied." Oh, here's your, I got your guys' weapons, too. I was not
Great.
able to get your armor, though, Allstrike. That
Well,
that was
from
that was a challenge.
from what I saw, Captain Sewer, it looked like Allstrike and Shiro had given up and joined the enemy.
Oh, I know. I have it all recorded. But see, sometimes when you're not given a choice, you make what you deem is the best option. So when a bad guy who obviously is capable of defeating you goes, "Join me or suffer," joining kind of seems like the best option. And he was able to verify for the fact that Shiro is a were-spider. I wasn't 100% sure, but that guy verified it. He recognized you as a creature of the dark. And I'm pretty sure they used whatever their weird mumbo jumbo on Lynx. So there is a very good chance that until
Check for bite marks.
I can break that, or one of us can, which soon as Ren gets back, Ren might be able to do it. Because, well, Ren does stuff with the mind. So hopefully Ren is able to do something to free our friend here from the grasp of those vile, villainous swine. Who's that, Duchess? Who's that right there? Do you see yourself, Duchess? And does not care. Does not care. Just wants to be held.
What's going on?
The cat's being a cat.
Oh.
Meow. But he does go, besides the fact that we have to wait till the system clears itself out, and by the way, we have to find, I have to kind of get you guys down into the surface, because for the moment, I'm decommissioning that elevator, hence why I flooded it. It took me longer than I wanted to, though.
Did Allstrike actually drink from the gauntlet, or did he not do that? Okay, he didn't get to do that. Okay, got it. Cool. Just questioning.
Am I supposed to roll or anything to see if I can resist whatever it is?
Well, you didn't get a chance to drink it.
Oh, okay.
There is no dice rolls. There is no anything at the moment to resist it. But Captain Seuss says, once my watery friend can verify that we don't have to put up with those interlopers, which hopefully they think that we're not going to use the space anymore. We will. I just have to drain the water back out. We should be able to go back to operational status relatively quickly. So here's to that. So what's it like being a werebug?
You're
not.
I don't know.
You don't let's say stare at a fly flying around and go, I want to eat it.
Not yet. I haven't had that urge yet.
Yet being key word. After a little while, Captain Sewer does open the door and go, we can now walk in it. I just got to make sure everything's properly unflooded. But she's going to be confined to her quarters after she has her gadgets removed from her, of course. As you see, looks like all her gadgets and stuff are being removed by air. So once all her gadgets are removed, she will be quarantined to her room with the gadget stuff in there disabled, so she can't attempt to hack through it. So while my my associates do that, let's go fix that armor of yours, Allstrike, so that way we can make sure it didn't get too much waterlogged, and you can then go forth and help us win the day. Oh, I also have garlic bubble gum for us to start chewing.
Okay.
Garlic bubblegum?
Yes. Made with real garlic.
Mm.
Hey, it's all I can do in short notice. I don't know if it will work or not, but hey. What more do you want?
Silver bullets, steaks.
I do not have access to getting everything. I mean,
What about garlic bubble gum?
if you don't want it, to say you don't want it. But when the vampire goes to you, and you don't have the ability to look at him, go and at him because garlic breath. Well, that's on you. As he pops some in, I'm gonna have the most rancid breath ever. And they're gonna hate it because I'm gonna breathe on them entire time. As he goes, I have an idea. I'll be right back. He runs off. Do you start helping All Strike with his armor?
Sure. I guess. I don't know. What am I helping with?
Holding it, making sure the water's out of it while he repairs anything that may or may not have been damaged.
Oh, yeah.
It goes faster with more people. Well, while you guys are doing that while you're being detained inside your room, Lynx, the door comes open. Captain Sewer comes up and gets close and goes in your breath and runs off. Breathing garlic breath all up in your face. And you can hear him saying, "That's for invading the sewers, for it is my domain. For the syndicate of heroes shall not be defeated in their own home." And it's bad because there's air doing this, making sure you get all of the breath. You can smell and taste it. Hey, when I said in season 1 you guys are going to enjoy Captain Sewer, I meant it. He's a hilarious goofball character that can be held dear to multiple people's hearts. He also can be used as a Captain Garlic Mouth. He can also be used to bring great tears to everyone's faces. Mainly because he breathes garlic in their face.
Yes.
Exactly.
But it doesn't take necessarily too long for everyone to fix the what damage was occurred to the base and equipment. The hero thief, Baker, Pro Archer, Daredevil are all at a secondary location, mainly because of not really being able to get down here. But they are also are able to report that while they were out doing a few things, that they did have a few run-ins with some of these would-be bad guys, as if the bad guys knew their routine.
Oh.
Almost like they were informed on.
Yeah.
Right.
Which you guys can probably guess on who informed the bad guys of things.
Now, while I'm working on my armor, can I put on a spike thrower on it?
No, you cannot put a spike thrower.
Yeah.
Something like that will have to be done during end of season maintenance.
Okay. It was just a thought.
Yeah. Um, Captain Sewer also point out that after the last thing's been done, that there is another problem.
Oh?
Captain Sewer boat, he has to get it out of the water and fix the hull damage. Because they put a hole in the side of it. So they sunk his boat. They also stole the Hornet.
Oh.
Almost like someone who had intimate knowledge on how it worked kind of went, here's the keys.
I don't care.
But Captain Sewer goes, I have good news, though.
Oh?
I think I know where the bad guys are currently hiding. Because I may or may not have done something to the Hornet and didn't tell someone. Which I don't plan on ever telling them. Let's just say I know where the Hornet is.
Where is the Hornet?
You know that really big fancy hotel that overlooks this park right here?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
It's
The
right
one
on top of that.
I see.
Do you know what the problem is, though?
What problem did you find?
Well, I have limited access to CTV, to the security, the city's security camera systems.
Right.
Mainly because lack of power, damage to infrastructure and stuff like that. But do you know how sometimes bad guys aren't smart and they do something that is smart but also not smart?
I am not sure what I understand where you're getting at.
They got power working to that hotel, which is causing a power feedback throughout a block or two, which means lots of things within that area, like street lamps and street lights and stuff, because it's all tied into the same system, is getting power from what they're using to generate power for that hotel, which means I have access to certain street cameras. I think I know why they picked that location.
Because it is big and bulky.
Nope. He pulls up a camera, one of street cameras, pans it over a little bit, and then you guys can see the head of a massive ant moving through the area. He goes, that is the latest soldier ant that the hive has produced. It's over 60 feet in length. They chose that area because they're not using the lower levels of the hotel. They're using the upper levels of the hotel, so that way the ants are less likely to notice their presence. Mainly because one of those ants already totaled one of their trucks.
Well, good. That is
They're
one less
using
truck we
the
have.
ants as a line of natural defense. And if
Unfortunately for them, we can fly.
Yeah. Unfortunately for them, you guys can fly. But the problem is, if too much commotion happens in that hotel, all it's going to take is one of those ants to take notice. And you're going to have a very big bug problem.
There's a very big bug problem regardless.
Yeah, but the bug problem we get to ignore because they're staying relatively where they're at. They're not stomping through the city trying to eat and kill people. They're just staying in that park. So, our bug problem is contained to that park.
Would be helpful. A commotion would be helpful in defeating these vampire things.
But do you really want to fight a 60-foot long ant?
No, I do not, but neither do they.
So I recommend that any assault we do is either extremely precise and covert, or we make peace with the fact that whoever goes to assault that hotel is most likely going to end up fighting big, big ants. Because you have to remember, if there's the commotion can end up having ants there relatively shortly, because some of those ants have very big wings they can use to fly. So it's not just that big ant we have to worry about, it's the flying ants. And the ants that are capable of shooting stuff. So, their greatest defense can be used as their their own handicap, because again they have to literally they can't go to ground level without risking being assaulted by ants, or having a big ant take down the hotel, because, well, these ants aren't just some big stupid bugs, they're actually using tactics and thinking. So any of our plans has to take into account the bugs. Which is my big concern. Because I don't know how many it's going to take to defeat us, but I think I know how many they're going to use, simply based on what knowledge I have already of the hive.
As many as it takes.
As many as they throw at us.
However, the vampire things will be having to deal with the ants at the same time, and we should be able to extract ourselves from dealing with the ants.
I hope. Because our biggest advantage on aerial combat they stole from us.
They did.
And we can coordinate a lot. We're not using our comms right now because someone's missing theirs.
Oh.
Which is hampering us right now. So I have to rework our communication system. And also alter everyone's communications devices. So at the meantime, Ren is literally being a
communication device, yes.
Which is hampering her availability, because she's constantly communicating with our other members that are out trying to take care of crap. Because they're also are trying to take care of some of the survival communities right now, because those communities are at risk of, having vampires sweep in the night and kidnap them all. So unless we want to risk making those particular spots vulnerable, we can't over rely on those individuals until we can guarantee the vampires are either no threat or not as big as a threat. While also trying to somehow fix our friend who needs to rejoin us. So,
how would you suggest that we fix Lynx?
Yeah, we gotta fix Lynx to get her back on our side. We Gotta get our hornet back because I miss it already. We got to revenge
My
from
hornet.
that.
It's my hornet.
That's not the only thing we have to get revenge for. Guess what? I also had to fish from the water. And had to have my water friend fish from the water.
What?
Shiro's bike.
Oh.
They kind of tossed it in. So that needs to be fixed as well. My boat needs to be fixed. Gotta somehow figure out what they did to the Hornet and fix whatever they may or may not have done to the Hornet. We have a lot on our plate right now. So, hopefully things can somewhat calm themselves for enough for Ren to do what she needs to do to get Lynx with us. We gotta finish fixing whatever may be wrong with the suit, with All Strike's suit, while also making sure they didn't do anything to it while you guys were asleep. That will be bad.
A little bit.
Yeah. So those are our game plans. Which, at the moment, because this is important, because he's the person that needs to roll these, because he has the best chance of succeeding, All Strike needs to make me two different tech checks. I'm happy he has a 13 to both of them. One to make sure the suit doesn't have anything wrong with it when it comes to tampering, and two, the second one to make sure it's up to to fully functioning capabilities. So if you would please All Strike do one at a time, a d20 with a plus 13.
It's starting to do the same thing it did before. It's not going to the dice roller.
Are you sure it's in the you're on the dice?
Yeah, I'm on the dice rolls only page.
It's working for me. I don't know why it's doing this to you again.
It just doesn't like me.
Audience, stand by for 1 moment, please.
Well,
Yeah.
that other one disappeared. Oh
No, they
well.
didn't. They were never there. So going back, thank you for audience for sticking with us through that technical problem. Uh, doesn't sound funny. I'm just happy I'm not the only person that's experiencing technical problems. Um,
Mm.
but Allstrike got a 26 to look for anything that could have been tampered with. And you found nothing that didn't have time, and then a 30 to fix everything that may or may not have been broken due to them taken off incorrectly and water damage. Uh, and I'm going to do something on someone's behalf because they can't make it today, but I'm still going to have them do it so that way I can say it was done, because I know they would be mad if I didn't do it for them. So I'm going to NPC Ren for a moment because Ren does have mental. Um, uh, it may not be super um, powerful when it comes to certain limitations, but it is. I'm double checking now.
You need some helium so you can sound like Ren.
Okay. I'm just double checking to make sure I can have Ren do what I need or what I want her to do. Because some things are boom. Okay, that's not necessarily boom. Okay, at this moment, Almighty Lynx, you need to make me a will defense roll of a plus 10. But since you are being contained. Okay, well, that's 3 degrees. You can somewhat well, because you know that her abilities are uh do mental with the mind. I want to double check something real quick. Okay, it's not subtle, so you're kind of aware of it. Uh, you can tell that your mind is being invaded. Dun dun dun. Uh, She's verbally asking you all sorts of questions about what happened after you got captured, and excuse me, just trying to talk you through all what happened between that point and now. And after a few minutes of this, she does say thank you. And then goes and joins the party and says, I got good news and bad news.
Okay, what's good news?
I think I figured out how to help get her back on our side.
Okay. And bad news.
We practically have to starve her.
Oh,
What?
why do we have to starve her?
Excuse me?
Because if we can get her to go long enough without consuming the blood from her the vampire she's attached to, then she'll get weaker and weaker and weaker, and then we might be able to break the hold over her mind. But there's a slight problem.
Okay.
One, she'll have the urge to drink of that blood. So there's a
Wait,
good
the
chance she
vampire?
might.
Are you telling me that they turned her into a vampire?
When I say blood, I don't mean our blood. I mean the blood of the one that fed her blood.
Oh, somebody's okay. So they thralled her.
Yeah.
Yes.
So she's going to really, really, really badly want to get back to him so that way she can drink some of his blood. Because that what is sustaining her and helping her out a lot. Which does mean when that vampire shows up, she's going to most likely turn on us. Simply because if she does that, she'll be rewarded with what she wants. Secondly, she'll be in a slight disadvantage the entire time until she gets to drink that blood. Because without it, she gets, again, really weak. So we can get her back, but she'll be at a weakened state while vulnerable to that specific vampire. Which is somewhat good because it's not just any vampire, it's that one. But there's also a bad thing. Through her memories, I was able to glimpse the memory of what they call him. I think I know what vampire we're dealing with.
Okay.
She hands you a really old book that has Nosferatu written on it, and goes, "What is depicted as one of the oldest vampires and considered the origin of a lot of fictional vampires?"
Dracula.
I'll give you a hint on whose blood she wants.
Odds.
Count Dracula is the vampire leading this particular incursion.
Well, that explains why there's
Why there's
oh.
so many of them, and why they're not even the ones they have blooded are, well, they're thralls, are not some pushovers?
Yes.
Because we're dealing with one of, quite possibly, what could be considered one of the first, or at least historically one of the oldest vampires that can be known of. And the big tough guy that gave you guys the choice between drinking from the gauntlet or drowning,
Yes. That was
that was
Vlad?
him.
Okay.
So you guys got to meet one of the most
Vlad
historical
Dracul.
fictional vampires
Vlad Dracul. Wonderful.
in the flesh. Which brings me to another bad news. There's only one way, through her memories of what there that have been figured out, how to fix her of her problem of being weak.
So how do we for the one thing I do want to know is how do we break her of her desire for Vlad's blood?
There's only one way I can think of based on what was said. What was said and done is somehow complete the transformation.
What?
If we want her to be absolutely 100% not in her current state, while also not subject to the whims of Count Dracula, we have to somehow figure out how to complete the transformation. To complete it, because they didn't reference her or their thralls, as we call them, as thralls. They called them by a different name. Half-bloods.
What was that?
The
Half-bloods.
vampires refer to them as half-bloods, implying that
That's what?
half-bloods.
Oh, half-bloods.
Yeah, half-bloods.
Which does imply that the reason why that these guys are so tough and so lenient, well, not lenient, but so mean, and not just empowered people, is that whatever they
Do they
did to
all
do
crave
this,
his blood?
I'm pretty sure not all of them are linked directly to Count, but that each one of these vampires has their own collection of these half-bloods. And like I said, I'm pretty sure that's why these individuals aren't just simply pushovers. But the bad news isn't done. They're aware that we didn't scuttle the base. We just made it harder to gain access to it.
Oh.
Because the moment they know, the moment that they realized I was snooping around into the brain, they stopped talking to her.
Uh-huh.
Except for one phrase that was uttered in her head. I'm
Which
coming
was
for you all.
uh,
Because he knew I was digging in her brain. She has a mental link to him. Everything she knows, he knows. Which means he knows how we'll behave, what we'll do, and any information she gleans while in captivity, he knows. Which means he knows that we're most likely going to starve her and then try to use her against him. And because of that mental link, he's going to be able to influence her. So, to a certain degree, I can't guarantee that if we manage to break her free of his influence, that she's actually free or not. He may be influencing her to fake it. He may weaken the connection between them just enough that I can't tell that connection is there or not. Because again, I don't know how vampires actually work other than they get to live forever and they need to suck blood. That's all I can verify. Other than the fact that the water didn't have any problem killing them. Well, didn't have any problem with them. They managed to just swim on out. The only thing that I know that absolutely positively works against them, not the half-bloods, just these vampires, is sunlight. That's the only thing I know that works on them. Anything else is simply hearsay or unproven theories. But we have a communication leak that knows a lot about a lot of our stuff. Which unfortunately means means all of our allies that aren't here with us are at risk of being assaulted at any moment by unknown numbers of vampires and their half-bloods. So we are at a huge disadvantage. A very big disadvantage. So, I'm not sure how we proceed without, keeping her sedated until we figure out how to fix this. So, hopefully we can somehow either figure out how to cure her completely or turn her completely. Those are my only things I can think of that could possibly fix her at the moment. Again, I don't have mind control abilities. I can poke around in there. I can attempt to alter her perception of things. But if we let her out of that room, he's gonna know. He's gonna be able to find her and use her against us. So we gotta figure out how to either reverse it or progress it completely. The only problem, I don't know who to call. Do any of you have any idea on who we could possibly contact to get any information on supernatural shenanigans?
Spider-Man.
Did you just say? Okay, pause.
Spider-Man's
Whose name
Marvel.
did you just invoke?
Sorry, it's DC.
Spider-Man's
I'm about to
Marvel.
say he doesn't
Yeah.
exist here. Because I already thought of, the party could try to contact this person, That's all Marvel.
Well, I was
So,
just
no,
Morbius, but
that's Marvel. Morbius is Marvel.
I know. I
Marvel.
realize that.
So, like, any of the
Doctor
would-be...
Strange is Marvel too.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, pretty much anyone that's usually that would be the go-to, like, this character should know about it, is mostly Marvel. Because how many supernatural-based characters does DC have
Hardly any.
that you guys are aware of?
John Constantine.
He is not a public hero. Players would know about him. Characters wouldn't because he's not a public hero.
Nope.
Okay. Well, it was just a thought.
It's a good thought. It's a very good thought.
What's the name of the? What's the one that's a part demon?
Raven.
Character.
Raven and Starfire.
Not Starfire. Starfire's an alien.
Yeah, but her. Oh right. Okay. I was thinking she was part Raven, but no, Raven. Raven is a good choice.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the problem is, she's not stationed. The Teen Titans aren't stationed anywhere near Gotham.
Oh.
They're not?
No.
Where's Titan Tower?
What one?
San Francisco.
There's more.
Yeah.
There's multiple.
What?
There's like 3 or 4.
There's multiple.
And the current one that the Teen Titans are actually using is on the other side of the United States.
They're on the West Coast, really?
The heck?
Yeah, last I checked was San Francisco.
Wasn't it that? Yeah.
Okay.
Interesting.
The closest Teen Tower isn't in use because it's retired and has been retired for a very long time. And that's closer to New York City.
What do they do with the towers when they retire them? Just like
leave them to
turn them off? That's ridiculous.
It is ridiculous. You'd be surprised about how many DC bases that once the heroes involved with it either A, go on to do other groups, B, become solo, or C, just stop being heroes. Their bases don't get scuttled, don't get repurposed. They just get left to rot.
Wow.
Batman...
They're not very eco-friendly, are they?
No. Batman is the only known hero who's been consistent on his base location and or any and all facilities that he utilizes or anyone in his family utilizes. They don't leave to rot. With the exception of Robin and the Teen Titans. Because once they move to a different tower, he doesn't care about the old tower.
Zartana?
Last I checked, she's upstate New York. So right coast.
Okay.
And technically not necessarily that far away. Because I know from Virginia to New York, if you don't count traffic, you can get there in an okay amount of time. But
isn't she? What can't we
how
just?
far are we?
Wouldn't we be able?
How far are we from New York?
Right. Wouldn't we? Can't we just call her on the Justice League communicator?
if she still is utilizing it, because you have to remember a lot of the league stuff. I mean, leaguers are either got depowered, turned into bugs, or started to be forced to do their own thing to protect their areas, because what Hive did was that successful that a lot of heroes ended up suffering, and there was no confirmed on who did or didn't. Well, there wasn't a complete list of fallen leaguers.
Well,
And the
then
only
first I'm going to.
person that you guys could possibly attempt to contact is Martian Manhunter. He's the only leaguer that told you guys how to contact him.
Oh, well, then I guess I'm going to contact Martian Manhunter to
Yes.
see if he can
And you know exactly where to go to contact him. The abandoned Hall of Justice that's here in Gotham City.
Right, I'm going to go fly there. Once we have access out.
Oh, well, Captain Sewer can get you guys out.
Okay.
Because you have to remember, you guys haven't really seen any of his powers activate at all. You guys know that he's heavily associated with sewers.
Yes.
Hence why the base is reminiscent of sewers.
So was this like the first time we actually got to see his powers?
Yes.
Like, see that actually has powers?
Actually, yes. Because all the parties ever really seen him do is do communications and drive a boat.
So he actually has powers. Good to know.
Yeah, he actually does have powers. And
I thought he was powerless, honestly.
The party got to see him swim really good and talked to water and is using some sort of air ability to keep you contained, despite the fact he's currently not in the room with you while you're still being contained by that air, whatever that air is, which should tell you something about his power.
Yeah,
because he doesn't have to be present for it to work.
Okay, well then I Darktide am going to go to the empty annex.
Does Shiro and Allstrike go with him?
Yeah, no, unless you want us to put Lynx down.
I'll stay behind.
To help defend the base in case he gets attacked by swimming vampires? Because we all know the real threat of the Mariana Trench are aquatic vampires.
Uh-huh.
Because there's a certain point where sunlight does not reach, so aquatic vampires are the real threat.
Well, unless it's moving water, and then the entirety of the
not all vampires are affected by. I mean, not all vampires are are affected by running water. It's surprising. It's consistently inconsistent about what vampires are and aren't affected by running water. For instance, as proven with today, DC vampires are not affected by running water.
Right. Anyway.
Gotta love being consistently inconsistent with vampire lores across different games.
Yes. Flying to the annex.
You guys can fly to the annex. Nothing tries to stop you. You can easily get in. It looks relatively the same last time you guys were here, messed up and abandoned.
Right.
You can make it to a hidden communication room that is still functional. Just where Martian Manhunter told you where to find it.
Okay.
You press the activate button to send out the signal.
The button that says press to talk. Yes, I pressed that.
Well, it doesn't say press to talk. It says press to send. That
way,
that way he answers.
Right. Okay.
After a little bit, on the screen, Martian Manhunter does pop up, and you notice he has this nice scar across his face. And he goes,
Mm.
"Yes, Darktide. You doing okay?"
Martian, we were our base was attacked by vampires, led by Vlad Dracul
By
himself.
vampires?
Yes.
And I thought the world couldn't get any weirder.
Indubitably.
What do you need?
Zartana's location, if she is still active.
Or somebody that is good at that knows their stuff about natural
Satana
beings.
is not available at the moment.
Well, then we are out of options of who to
Uh,
contact for supernatural shenanigans.
I would have to check who's available that could possibly have information on supernatural shenanigans. It's gonna take me a little bit of time to do it. Because besides Satanic, she's the league's go-to supernatural guru. I will do some digging, and as soon as I find someone, I will do my best to make sure they are available and are going straight to where your base is. By your base, I mean the Hall of Justice, as I don't know where your base is. Actually, I do, but still. Soon as I can get someone there that could possibly help with vampires, I will get someone there to help with vampires. I will do my best to rush job it. And I'm happy it's just vampires.
Just vampires. You're happy
that you're
just
dealing with.
vampires.
I didn't.
Oh.
I'm mitigating what's left of the league in multiple areas. You have vampires, which is scary,
Frightening.
but Kentucky has werewolves. Alabama has a giant snake. California's flooded.
Oh.
Not because of rising water tides.
Are they finally going to break off?
It's more like it's just sinking.
Mm-hmm.
Less of a break off and more just sinking. Washington has a giant fire-breathing lizard.
So giant.
Yeah, it no wings.
Dragons don't
The
have
Mississippi
to
has giant snakeheads.
have
Because if you thought snakeheads were terrifying before, try having to deal with ones that are getting up to 12 feet in length and having no problem chasing people down. I hate air-breathing fish.
Also, well, speaking of length, we know where the ants are. That were in whatever park is here.
Well, you
in our
need
park.
to eat. Well, you have two options: figure out how to keep them at the park, or figure out how to get rid of them. Because I can't send anyone to Gotham at the moment to get rid of ants.
They've moved to the lower portions of the base that the vampires are keeping.
Well, that's not good.
No, it's not. The vampires also have a hornet.
Your what?
My hornet.
The hornet. That lynx had.
Can you elaborate? Because I'm unaware of what you guys are referring to. The hornet. You've been out of touch for some time. How's that where you guys might have been?
Hive's yellow jacket vehicle.
You guys stole
the one that they. Yes. It's now called the Hornet.
That's good for you guys. You guys stole it,
Except
and it
for-
got stolen from you. That's funny. That's
Well,
some comical justice.
Lynx sort
My
of
Hornet.
gave it to them because she's sort of been turned
Well, then
into a half.
Well, then I should probably hang up and go look for someone to help you guys.
Yes.
Like I said, you'll know when I've succeeded when the person shows up, because I'm just gonna tell them to go find you guys.
Got it. Thank you.
Oh, don't go to Florida.
What's happening in Florida?
Giant mosquitoes.
Oh,
I am not appreciative of giant mosquitoes.
no.
No, because these ones are big enough to fly off with you.
Oh.
And that's also not counting the giant fly traps, the giant water bugs, and for some weird reason, cassowaries. Really hard to fight cassowaries.
What's a cassowary?
It's a real bird. You should go look it up. They're really, well, they do look really neat, and they're one of the closest examples of a living dinosaur. They're also a bird that you do not want to be anywhere near, because despite not being quite on eye level as man, they'll have no problem giving you beef. Because when I say the crocodile hunter had no problem leaping over fences to put something between him and a cassowary, I mean it, and that's a crocodile hunter. The man that all animals love, he did not mess around with cassowaries. Because it's a cassowary. It will win that fight.
Yeah.
I love modern dinosaurs.
At this point in time, then, you are saying that not everything is bigger in Texas.
Nope, everything's actually getting smaller in Texas.
Oh.
Including the people.
Even the people.
What?
How are the people shrinking?
The same way Hive managed to turn people into bugs.
I see.
Interesting. What about in...
You're currently not there, Lynx, so please... I love your commentary, it's quite funny, but I can't give answers that you're asking because you're not there to ask them.
Okay, then I will let you go, and we will await the arrival of the
specialist,
supernatural expert that you find for us.
Yeah, he does hang up, and you guys are able to return back to base to share that information with both Shiro and Red.
Zatanna is unavailable. We will be getting a supernatural specialist when Martian Manhunter can find him or her. People are shrinking in Texas. There are snakeheads in Mississippi. The things are growing giant-sized in Florida. California's drowning in water. And there's other stuff going on in the world. We're just the only ones dealing with vampires.
Yes. At this moment, does I let us run a little longer due to the slight technical things we had? It's reached the end of the episode. So thank you, heroes, for joining us for episode 3, Party at the House. Yes, that's what I'm going to call this episode. Because you guys did have a house party. Remember to join us next week for more Nightmares of Future Past. Remember to like and subscribe.